This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, let me share my screen. Fine. So till last class, it is like high level we have discussed, right? One second.
This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, let me share my screen. So in the third session, like it is something end to end. What is the exact project? How we will be right from source to target? What all the things will be involved at a higher level we have discussed. Now let us discuss at developer level. Okay, developer level in the sense definitely we have to create our own APIs, right? When the requirement comes, when the technical specification is given, it is our responsibility now to create an API. Okay, so yeah, so before going to in depth, so at the end of the course I will be showcasing some real-time APIs. Real-time APIs in the sense whatever the APIs which we have developed as part of requirement, that I will make you walk through. Okay, it is not like completely deploying or testing it. It will not be done in that way. Definitely like how we have implemented, at least some view how we need to implement, what all the things we need to keep in mind while implementing APIs, that stuff definitely I'll showcase, but it is end of the training, not now. Okay, so first we have to learn some basics, right? Fine, so let us start learning it. Okay, now today we will explore on Anypoint Studio. So Anypoint Studio actually I have extracted in the last class. We have extracted, right? At that time actually it was not downloaded properly, it was not extracted properly. Later on I have extracted, and here is the location, and I have created one more folder called workspace. Okay, workspace in the sense here in this workspace I'll try to keep my APIs or applications. Okay, so this Anypoint Studio, after extracting, go to this icon. Okay, right click on it, try to see if it is your own personal laptop, it will be opened. Otherwise run as administrator will work. If you are working in organization laptops, then definitely it will not work. You have to click just on open. Okay, so admin rights may or may not be there for you. And personal laptops, it is our own laptop, so definitely it will be there, so it will get opened if you are opening as an administrator. Okay, so if you are opening like an administrator, what is the difference is sometimes sometimes if we are not running this at any point platform, any point studio in administration means it will not start properly. So few of the things will be like it gets blocked. So for safer side we will be running it as run as administrator. Okay, but in enterprise editions like in VDIs, generally people not to give the admin right, but definitely it will not block. Okay, as it is organization, because of some policies it will not block the files of project. So even though if you are clicking on open, it will work. Okay, let it open. Now today I'll try to create some small program. Why? Because everybody is new. Some hello world program I'll try to do. Okay, in this what all the things for displaying this, what all the things are required, that we'll try to understand. Okay, so what all the components that are involved here, we need to understand it. First we have, for creating this in any application, if it is Java, what you will try to do, you will directly write one class, right? You will directly write one class, and you will be having some public static void main method, right? Public static void method will be definitely there. And if it is static void main, so everybody is aware of Java, right? So just I'm comparing, why? Because so many people are freshers here, so I'm trying to just make them understand as well. Okay, normally if it is Java programming, what you will do, you will have one class name. Inside that you will try to create one main method. Inside that method you will try to keep some hello world, you will try to append that, you will try to append, you will keep some SOP statements. SOP is nothing but system.out.println. So just after, then if you are deploying it, definitely like it will display on the logs. That is how you will be doing in Java. Am I correct? Is everybody is aware of it? Everyone? Santosh, Gopi, Guru, I think everyone knows at least basics of Java. That is what my understanding is.
Yes.
Oh, no, I don't have any of that.
Yeah. So see, in Java, like this we will be doing. In any other technology also, you will be following some. What I'm trying to say is, like in any technology, take DB, take that means SQL or PL SQL or Java, .NET, whatever the thing is, you will be following some template. Am I right? You will be following some template, or you will be following some instructions for executing it, right? So in the same way, MuleSoft also we will be following. But what is MuleSoft? MuleSoft is not a programming language. Mule is not at all a programming language. You will not be writing any program, no program. You will not write any program, either in .NET or in some other. If you take PL SQL, some procedure you will be writing. Something you will be writing in terms of code. But here, we will not be working it in terms of code. It is like IDE. It is like IDE. In order to execute this, what I need to have, first I have to create one mule file, mule project I need to create. Inside mule project, you will be creating the API. API in the sense application programming interface. So in mule terminology, in Java we will be calling it as Java project, Java classes, like that. But in terms of mule, it is mule project, mule APIs. In that way, the terminology will differ. Okay, first we'll try to create the mule project, and then we'll try to understand how the project looks like. Okay, how it looks like. First we need to understand that. Okay, but to be frank, so for for running a standalone program, just you will be right clicking, you will be running it, and you will be seeing the message in logs. It is normal programming language. But in Mule, it is nothing but we have to expose API, right? We have to expose API in the sense, for example, SAP system wants to hit my hello world API. This is the use case. Hello world API. It want to hit this hello world API. So this is, I'm assuming, see here no system is there, you no need to worry, just it is just like example I'm saying, in real time, or this fellow wants to hit my API. Okay, so for hitting this API, I need to do some work, right? So don't bother about the source system. Today it can be SAP, tomorrow it can be .NET, tomorrow, day after tomorrow it is something else. We are not bothering about this system. What is my requirement is, in Mule, how I need to expose this API. Exposing this API means I need to implement this logic. I have to implement this logic, and I have to generate URL. I have to generate one URL, and that URL I need to give to SAP team. Okay, so for giving to SAP team, first, so what is my role here? I need to create my own API. I have to implement that logic, that hello world logic. Hello world logic I have to implement, and I have to generate the URL, and I have to give that URL. For example, I want to generate, as it is local system, I want to generate the URL as follows: http colon. So currently it is, I'm not deploying to Cloud Hub. It is from Jetty server, local server. I will be deploying it. I want to have my own URL, my own port, everything, and hello. So this URL I have to generate, and I have to give this URL to SAP system, so that what that SAP system will do, in their submit button, they will configure this URL and they will click on it. Then when they click on that submit button, automatically request comes to our hello world API. Whatever the logic we have implemented, it executes it, and it sends the response back. But for doing all these tasks, how the process work, where it starts, first we need to think where it starts, where it ends. So I have to do all this stuff. Okay, now in order to communicate, see, as soon as after we are giving this URL to them, they will be configuring in their submit button. That is what I am trying to say. But before that, first we have to generate this URL, right? For generating this URL, what all the things are required is, first we need to keep HTTP listener. So in Mule, actually there is an activity called HTTP listener. So what this listener will do, as soon as the SAP hits, this listener will listen the request. Somebody has to hear it, right? It listens the request and it handovers that request to Mule flow. So how we do, I'll just let you know. So if I'm speaking like this, you may not be understanding it. Let me do it in the see, this is the workspace I am selecting. That means I want to store all my projects in this location. So I have created one folder and just I'm browsing it. I'm creating on launch. Now it gets opened. Okay. First I need to create one flow. Okay. That flow contains two tabs. One is source and another thing is process. Two tabs it contains. Okay. In the source I will be configuring this listener so that it will listens to that request and it hand over that request to process tab, and then our logic will get implemented in the process. This is how it works at the backend. So don't get confused. Everything I will showcase by creating. Okay, so it gives control to process layer. This process layer will implement the logic and it captures that response and it sends back to the SAP system. So how it does, you will see. Yeah, it got opened. It takes time as it is first time it is launching, right? Parallelly, you guys also try to do allow access, wait for the program. Okay. Today some background noise will be there as it is August 15th, some flag hoisting and everything is happening. Is it too noisy?
No, it is clear, Nitya.
It is clear, right? That's fine. Why? Because beside my house, actually, some flag hoisting is going on. Okay. Yeah. So now, see, here is the Eclipse. See, if you open this, it just looks like a Eclipse only. It looks like Eclipse. If you see, everything looks like Eclipse. Thank you, Krishna. Okay, so this is mule pilot. Let me close this. Somehow I have closed this. Let me go to my windows. Normally it will not, you guys may not be facing it. Something I have clicked, so I want to reset my perspective. So I'm going to windows. I'm just resetting. Why? Because the logs and everything, see, the tabs has to come down. Somehow something I have clicked, it went up. So in order to revert back my changes, I want to just reset it. It is just nothing but resetting the mobile. If you feel like some settings got changed, what you will generally do, you will reset your mobile, so it comes to your as usual condition or as usual look and feel, right. In the same way, if you are not understanding something you have clicked and you are not able to see this project, this project palette or mule palette, somehow it is like got disturbed, then what you can do is like go to windows, go to perspective, reset perspective, so that what will happen is like these three planes again it comes into the normal condition. Okay, and now I'm creating my mule project. So why? Because I have to give my URL to the SAP people, right? Now from where I have to start, this is my location. Now I'm giving the name as hello world. Okay, see, somebody has asked what is the difference between standalone and enterprise edition. See, in the if you are going with MuleSoft and server means, see, this server will automatically will be there when you are creating your project. So this is nothing but internal server or Jetty server, we will be calling it. You're able to see it, right? So for every project, an internal server configuration will be there if you have downloaded Anypoint Studio along with Mule server. Okay, if you are going with standalone, you will not be seeing this server, so that you cannot deploy locally. That is the only difference. Okay, so now let me create on finish. All these tabs I will be discussing in future. Okay, I'm just clicking on it. Okay, yeah, it got created. If you see, you can able to see the donkey icon. Okay, donkey icon. Why they have kept donkey icon is, initial days, if you want to implement, if you want to integrate any two systems, you have to do a donkey work. Donkey work in the sense, lot many configurations, lot of jars, a lot of in order to make communication between two different systems, SAP or ERP system, you need to do some really you have to configure many things. You have to write a lot of logic. So all that is nothing but a donkey work. Okay, donkey work. So with the introduction of this mule, the donkey work has been reduced. Why? Because it has given like connectors, right? We have given like SAP connectors, whatever I have showcased in the last class. So that connectors and all those things made our life very easy. So that is the reason they have kept like donkey icon. So mule reduced donkey work. Okay, and if you see, keenly observe your project, you see so many folders got created, so many folders. If you minimize this, nothing will be there. If you drag and drop, see mule server, if you open the server itself, so many jars will be there. You will not be doing anything with it. With this, don't touch anything, don't delete anything. But see, that means this indicates like how much heavyweight is this. It is heavyweight. That is the reason it expects at least 8 GB RAM for running itself. For doing a small application of mule, you need 8 GB RAM. Without 8 GB RAM, you cannot learn, you cannot run any mule API. Okay, this is like internal server which helps to deploy our API to this server. So if you see it, so many things will be there. And apart from that, this is like main file. If you open this main file, message flow will be there, global elements will be there, configuration file is there. If you message flow and configuration is one and same. See, this is like UI in the sense you will be seeing icons. For example, as I said, first I need one flow, right? For implementing this logic, I need one flow. That is what my statement is. So if you go to core, as soon as you see one mule palette, you can observe on the right side. If you go to core, so many activities, so many components will be there. So many components will be there. See, if you see, so many components are there. Here in this, you can see a flow. If you drag and drop that flow, see, this is like source and process. This each mule flow contains two things: source, process. Exceptional handling will also be there. I have missed that. Let me add here: source, process, and exception handling. Okay, three things. Each flow contains source, process, exceptional handling. Okay, see here I have dragged and dropped this flow. If you immediately see in your configuration file, see the flow name, whatever I have created, that you can able to see. That means whatever here you are doing in the form of XML, it will be storing in the XML configuration XML. So, and this ID is something like for each and every activity it generates that this Anypoint Studio generates unique ID. We will not be doing anything with this. It by default, like, it creates itself. We don't need to worry on that. We don't need to touch that. So it is a unique ID created for each activity. Okay, now what I'll try to do, I'll change the name here. The flow name is something like hello world project flow. What I'll try to do, I'll just keep like hello. Just I'm changing in XML. So whether it reflects in message flow or not, we will see. So I'm keeping only in capital letters. I'm keeping hello. Got stuck. Hello. So if you go, just save it. Okay, just save it and go to message flow. That got changed. So what does it mean? Whatever here you are doing in UI, it gets automatically reflected in the form of XML in configuration file. See, if I remove this, what happens? Let me check. Let me showcase you. I have removed it. I went to message flow. See, that flow itself has gone. Right? So these two are one and same. That is what I'm trying to say. Let me keep again. Let me keep again so that the flow will be there. Okay. Now, so each mule flow contains these three tabs. Now, what is source? What is process? What is exceptional handling? That we need to understand. Source means, see, what is the source? Source in the sense my API, as per my requirement, when SAP hits our URL, it has to come. Somebody has to be there in the implementation. Here one fellow should be there. It has to listen that request, right? Otherwise, how it will process? First, some fellow should be there to listen the request which is coming from the source system. That is SAP system. So for listening, one fellow is there called HTTP listener, drag and drop HTTP listener. So this listener, what it does, it just listens that request, and whatever the request it will get now, it will just hand it over to process for process. So this process will be like it implements hello world or whatever the logic that needs. That logic will be implemented in the process tab. Okay. So if you keenly observe this listener, it has two things. See, one is, if you see, two arrow marks are there. One is inwards, one is outwards. One is inwards. Another thing is outwards. That means this fellow is responsible for receiving the request, giving it to the process, and whatever the process is giving back, that response it will take and it sends back to the caller in the sense, in our case it is, I am saying like SAP system. So till here, are you guys are clear, or any confusion, or anybody is having any issue?
It's clear.
It's clear. Okay. Navya, how about you? Ardhamautunda? So if everybody is Telugu, you can feel free to speak. No problem. Okay.
Yes, madam.
Yes. I think everybody is clear. Shall I move? Shall I continue? No questions, right? Okay. So what I said, see, this listener will listen to the request. For listening the request, there should be some URL, right? There should be, we have to configure this URL. Otherwise, how it, see, this URL I have to configure, then only it will come to this location. So this connection details I will be giving in the connector configuration. Click on plus, you will get HTTP listener. So as it is local host, so I am keeping it as local host. 8081 is my port, and let me test my connection whether it will work or not. First I am testing it. We have to test it. Yeah, test is connection. Okay, so whatever, sometimes what happens is like whatever the port I am giving now, it will be in busy, and it may not work. And the separator I have to give. Why? What is its significance? I will tell you. Wait. Okay. Before that, let me give it. So by configuring this fellow, and a URL we have created this URL, and this URL, when SAP system hits, automatically the request will come here. As soon as, why? Because when this URL is up and running, what it comes first, as soon as they are hitting, as soon as URL we are giving to SAP guys, right? They're configuring in their submit button. As soon as they click on that button, it comes, the request comes over here. Okay, along with the payload which they are sending, whatever they are sending with the details. See, here now I am showcasing only hello world, but it can be like form as well. In SAP, one form we will be filling. Normally when you are doing any online form fill up, what you will do, you will just fill up all the details and you will click on submit button, and immediately you will be seeing a message like you have registered successfully. So you will think like, okay, by seeing that message, okay, I have registered successfully. By seeing that, you will feel that. But at the back end, what happens? By clicking on the submit button, it goes to the implemented code. It executes that code, and whatever the message they are sending, it displays on the screen. That is what it will happen in the real time, right? In the same way, as soon as they click, the request comes here. That is nothing but here is the middleware. It comes here and it processes the request and sends back. Okay, now what I'm trying to do, I want to display only set payload. Okay, set payload in the sense, just I want to keep, let me delete this, another flow got created. I will discuss that multiple flow concept, but okay, fine. This is set payload. In this set payload, and now I am keeping like hello world. Today it can be hello world, but tomorrow it is like heavy logic we need to implement. Hello world. Okay, that the request comes over here, the arrow marks will move forward, and whatever the logic we have implemented, it executes that, and that hello world again, it will be sent back through this HTTP listener only. So that is the reason we have two arrow marks. One is inwards, one is outwards. Okay, now I have created this flow. Let us check this configuration file. So whatever I have set payload, I have kept now, that it is getting reflected over here. If I go here and if I go to global elements, that connection details, will be whatever the connection I have configured, all the connection details will be captured in the global elements. Here this is meant only for configuring connection details. See, now only HTTP listener I have done. I have a requirement like I have to connect it to database as well. I have to get some data in between. So when I cannot connect directly, right? So I have to give a connection details so that the connection will be established. Even the database details also, that connection details will be, we will get here. Okay, so it is not only for HTTP listener. What I'm trying to say is like whatever the systems you are trying to connect, that connection details will be stored in the global elements. Now what I will try to do, I'll try to deploy. My API is ready. Okay, now just I am running my project. Let me run my project. Let me save it. Let me run my project. So see, this is how it is running. Okay, it is deployed. That means now whatever the API we have created, it is deployed and running. We have to test this API, right? So for testing it, we need to have Postman. What you guys can do is you can open the Google and you can download it. You just click like free download of Postman. Just click on that. See, this is the downloadable. You just click on this, you can download it. After downloading, it appears on the screen. Now here already I have downloaded, and installation is not required. See, as soon as you download, automatically it gets opened. Okay, it is not a software. Just extract it and just open that. So what is this Postman? Postman is nothing but testing purpose it will be used. I have created, as I told in the first or second class, I guess, we need some testing tool. We have to test. See what here I have created my own API, that is fine, but whether it is working or not, I have to check now. For checking that, I need one software. That software is nothing but Postman. Okay, so many things will be there, don't get confused. Okay, see what is this get, when we have to go for get, post, patch, all these things I will discuss. As of now, just try to see what I'm trying to do. See, slowly, you are new babies to this world now. I have to go slowly. 081. Initial classes will be a bit slow. That's all. Hello. Okay. Let me send my request. Now you can see hello world. So you have just clicked this URL and you are able to see whatever I have configured in the MuleSoft API. Okay, that means what you have understood, that listener is taking, it is taking the request, it is giving it to the process, Here the processing is happening, and whatever the payload here we configured, it has given that response to this listener, and that listener is now displaying on the postman. So, but how it is working, how it is behaving, so how this payload is going to listener back, that we need to understand. So here so many things are there. See, in the responses, if you see payload in the sense, what is the meaning of payload is, see here, if I am keeping 100 activities as well, whatever the data the last activity holds, that data is nothing but a payload. Whatever the last activity is holding, in between again 3 more set payloads I will try to keep. So whatever the last activity is there, whatever the last logic it is implemented, that was holded in this payload, and it's an payload in the payload. That is the reason we could able to see. That is the reason we could able to see that in the postman. Are you guys are clear? See, let me keep another set payload. Hey, don't get confused. Okay, if you are having any queries, payload means what? Everything I will let you know, but try to understand how the flow is working as of now. ఫ్లో ఎలా వర్క్ అవుతుందో మాత్రమే కాన్సన్ట్రేట్ చేయండి. పేలోడ్ ఏంటి, ఈ హ్యాష్ మార్క్స్ ఏంటి, జస్ట్ ఈ ట్యాబ్స్ ఏంటి, ఎవ్రీథింగ్ వి విల్ డిస్కస్. ఈ లిజనర్ లో ఉన్న ఈ ట్యాబ్స్ ఏంటి, వాట్ డస్ ఈచ్ ట్యాబ్ resembles, everything we will try to discuss. But as of now, how the URL is working, you just understand. Welcome to online training. Okay, welcome to Mule online training. Now I have configured. Now what I'll try to do, I'll just save it. Okay, something has happened. Wait, set payload quotations live only. Whenever you are using like this in set payload, this green mark indicates that you are hard coding. As it is hard coded value, just do it. So as soon as you are doing, see, automatically the jar will get update. In other applications, in other technologies, whatever happens is, whenever I will be changing in any API, what I have to do is, again I have to redeploy the complete application. A complete application redeploy cheyalsi vastadi. But in MuleSoft it is not required, especially with this internal server. Whenever you are doing and whenever you are just saving it, it automatically updates that jar at the backend, and it displays a message, started application. Again you can go back here, again you can do a sending. Then what happens? Welcome to online training. Script welcome to online training has errors. Fine. I think ఏదో పెట్టుంటాను. Okay. Okay, let me deploy it. So first, initially I have given without quotations, right? So that jar first got updated and it has shown that errors. Now again I'm saving properly so that it will update the jar automatically. Okay, now I will try to hit that URL. See, now it is saying welcome to Mule online training. Okay, so whatever the last activity, payload ante emi ledu. Gopi, you are a Telugu guy? Andar Teluge kada? People has some problems, so I'm trying to cover both. Okay.
Yeah, my home one side Andhra, one side Tamil Nadu. Nitya, I speak both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, then perfect. Okay. So freshers kada koncham వీళ్ళకి
Yeah,
కాస్త అర్థం
I'm
అవ్వట్లేదు.
getting, yeah.
So yeah,
They need
you
to
are
get
getting
it,
right.
like, yeah.
Yes. So last activity, whatever the last activity holds, that is going as a payload in the listener. So that is the reason we can able to see it in the postman. అంటే మన ప్రాసెస్ లో ఎప్పుడు కూడా రిక్వెస్ట్ వస్తుంది, సోర్స్ లో మనం సోర్స్ లో రిక్వెస్ట్ తీసుకుంటుంది, ఏదైతే వచ్చిందో దాన్ని ప్రాసెస్ కి ఇచ్చేస్తుంది, ప్రాసెస్ మొత్తం ప్రాసెస్ చేసి లాస్ట్ యాక్టివిటీలో ఏదైతే డేటా ఉంటుందో ఆ డేటాని లిజనర్ ద్వారా వెళ్ళిపోయింది. ఈ లిజనర్ ఈస్ నథింగ్ బట్ లిజనర్ అది ఎలా వెళ్ళగలుగుతుంది, హౌ ఇట్ ఈస్ గోయింగ్, ఇట్ ఈస్ నథింగ్ బట్ ఇన్ ద రెస్పాన్సెస్ హియర్ వీ హ్యావ్ ఏ పేలోడ్. సో ఇన్ మ్యూల్ టర్మినాలజీ we will say that response part as a response payload, and whatever the input I am getting, we will say it as a input payload. So whatever it is nothing but request data ఏదైతే మనకు వస్తుందో దాన్ని ఇన్పుట్ పేలోడ్ అని లేదంటే రెస్పాన్స్ పేలోడ్ అని మొత్తం కాన్ఫిగర్ మొత్తం ఇంప్లిమెంటేషన్ అయ్యాక పంపించేది రెస్పాన్స్ పేలోడ్ అని we will discuss. We will in that terminology we will try to say as input. In the mule terminology it is nothing but input payload and response payload. So here it is response payload. In the body it was configured as payload, so that is the reason whatever the last activity is holding, that is able to pass it. So that is the reason we could able to see that response. So today it is only like hard coded value, tomorrow it can be anything, tomorrow it can be like heavy logic implemented. Slowly we will try to involve. Okay. And
Yeah,
MIME
but
type.
yeah, in this scenario, Nitya, like we have two process, right? Set payload and set payload to like two process.
It will not
right?
conflict. Yes, two activities we can say. Two activities. Just for overwritten purpose I have written. It is see something if you want to hard code in mule, in this way you can do it.
No, yeah, understood. But my question is, if we have two of them, like only last updated one it is taking, but the previous
Yeah, exactly.
hello process it is not taking.
No, it will not take. It will override.
Okay, if we have multiple sample payloads also, the latest one it take.
It takes exactly.
Okay.
Latest one. So last activity, when that is the reason our implemented logic at the end it should be like expected one. Okay. So how about others? Navya, Santosh, Guru.
Yeah.
Are you guys are okay? Yes, please.
Yeah, I have question on this one. No, I don't want confuse now. It is too early. Yeah.
Yes. Now, definitely, when we are in the listener, so listener configuration, we'll try to understand what is this MIME type. In the listener, it is okay. We are saying like this fellow only receives the message and it hands over that message to process. I am saying, but what is this MIME type? So the whatever the message that listener is going to receive, it could be anything, right? It could be CSV, it could be DB, it could be normal YAML file, it could be XML, right? So the type of, so here at Mule API level, you are saying, hey, my API is going to take only JSON request. So you are restricting. So in your requirement, this API has to take only JSON. It was written in your technical specification document. Whatever the API you are creating, it receives only JSON. Means what you have to do, somewhere you have to restrict. That restriction is nothing but MIME type. So what kind of message this API is going to receive, that will be there in the MIME type. Okay. So redelivery. What is this redelivery? Redelivery is nothing but sometimes my API. See, this is source system. From source system, this got. I mean, I have received the input. I have received the input to this URL, and I am trying to see after the set payloads. I have a requirement like I have to connect it to database. So I have to connect it to database. In my requirement, my technical spec is saying like I need to connect some say a .NET database or something like that. So that database I'm trying to keep it over here. Sometimes there is a chance like this database can be down. That it can be down. So what my Mule API will do is, what this listener will do is, it will not like only once retry, once it will retry policy. So 5 times it will retry maximum. If I check this, see 5 times it will retry. Even till 5 times retrying, the message will not be displayed. This download ఉంది. this database is down. Okay, what this listener will do, first time it will try to connect, second time it will try to connect, up to 5 times it will connect, and at the 6th time, if it is not able to connect, then it will pass a message to the user. అంటే ఇప్పుడు నా ఫ్లోలో నాకు మ్యూల్ ఫ్లో ఈజ్ నథింగ్ బట్ మనం ఇంటిగ్రేషన్, మనం ఎన్ని సిస్టమ్స్కి అయినా మనం కనెక్ట్ అవ్వాలి. డేటాబేస్ మన టెక్నికల్ స్పెసిఫికేషన్ డాక్యుమెంట్లో మీరు డేటాబేస్కి కనెక్ట్ అవ్వాలి అని ఉంటే మీరు కనెక్ట్ అవ్వాలి. మీరు అలా అయినప్పుడు ఒక్కొక్కసారి డేటాబేస్ డౌన్ ఉండే ఛాన్స్ ఉంది, అది అప్ ఉండే ఛాన్స్ లేదు, అది డౌన్ ఉండే ఛాన్స్ ఉన్నప్పుడు మరి మన ఏపీఐ ఏం చేస్తుంది అంటే 5 టైమ్స్ రీట్రై చేస్తుంది. 5 టైమ్స్ కనెక్ట్ అవ్వడానికి ట్రై చేసింది. చేసిన తర్వాత కూడా అది అవ్వలేకపోతే 6th టైంకి it will give a response like I'm not able to connect, there is some remote exception. So that exception part again we will be handling in the exceptional handling. అంటే వీఆర్ బ్రోకర్స్, రైట్? మనం మధ్యలో ఉన్నాము, సోర్స్ సిస్టమ్ కి టార్గెట్ సిస్టమ్ కి మధ్యలో ఉండి మనం ఈ బ్రోకరైజింగ్ మొత్తం చేయాలి. ఇందులో ఎవరు డౌన్ ఉన్నా ఎవరు అప్ ఉన్నా ఎక్కడ ఏం జరిగినా మనం ఆ ఎక్సెప్షన్ అనేది హ్యాండిల్ చేసి యూజర్ కి ఎవరైతే మనల్ని పిలుస్తున్నారో వాళ్ళకి బ్యాక్ మెసేజ్ ఇవ్వాలి. Okay, so now you have, I think you have understood what is source, what is process, what is error handling. Am I clear in this part? Is it clear?
But we did not put error handling right here.
No, we are not keeping, just I'm explaining. See why this tab is there, first we need to understand that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Santosh, how about you? Krishna?
Yes, it's clear.
It's clear. Krishna, Navya, Guru?
Madam,
Are
one
you guys
second. 1 second, repeat it.
ఓకే, ఏమీ లేదు. మ్యూల్ ఏపీఐ అనేది సోర్స్ కి మళ్ళీ చెప్తున్నాను. యా, మ్యూల్ ఏపీఐ అనేది మనం మధ్యలో ఉండి క్రియేట్ చేస్తాం, అవునా? ఇప్పుడు ఎస్ఐపి సిస్టమ్ మనల్ని పిలుస్తుంది, ఈ మ్యూల్ ఏపీఐని పిలుస్తుంది. ఈ మ్యూల్ ఏపీఐని పిలిచినప్పుడు మన రిక్వెస్ట్ అనేది లిజనర్ దగ్గరికి వస్తుంది. లిజనర్ దగ్గరికి వచ్చి ఈ లిజనర్ లో మనకి ట్యాబ్స్ ఉన్నాయి, డిఫరెంట్ ట్యాబ్స్ ఉన్నాయి. చూడండి ఇక్కడ మైమ్ టైప్ అని ఉంది, అంటే మనం చెప్తున్నాం మనకిచ్చిన రిక్వైర్మెంట్ లో ఏముందంటే ఈ ఏపీఐ ఓన్లీ జేసన్ మాత్రమే తీసుకోవాలి, ఫ్లాట్ ఫైల్ మాత్రమే తీసుకోవాలి అనే ఏదైనా రిక్వైర్మెంట్ అట్లా ఉన్నప్పుడు, ఓకే నాకు వచ్చే రిక్వెస్ట్ జేసన్ లోనే వస్తుంది అన్న రెస్ట్రిక్షన్ పెట్టాలి అనుకుంటే మనం మైమ్ టైప్ లో పెడతాం. ఓకే, తర్వాత అది ఏమవుద్ది, ఆ డేటా మొత్తాన్ని ఈ ప్రాసెస్ లేయర్కి ఇచ్చింది. ఈ ప్రాసెస్ లేయర్లో మనం ఏదైతే పెట్టామో లాస్ట్ యాక్టివిటీలో ఏదైతే ఉందో ఆ డేటాని అది లిజనర్ ద్వారా మళ్ళీ బ్యాక్కి ఇచ్చేస్తుంది. ఓకే, సో ఈ మధ్యలో మనం ఏపీఐ క్రియేట్ చేసేటప్పుడు ఎన్నో సిస్టమ్స్ కనెక్ట్ అవ్వాల్సి వస్తుంది. డేటాబేస్ కానీ .NET కానీ, అంటే మన టెక్ స్పెక్ ఏదైతే చెప్తుందో ఆ టెక్ స్పెక్ లో ఉన్న దానిలాగా మనం కాన్ఫిగర్ చేయాల్సి వస్తుంది. మన మ్యూల్ ఏపీఐ ఒక్కొక్కసారి ఏమవుతుందంటే ఆ డేటాబేస్ డౌన్ ఉందనుకో, ఏదైతే మనం కాల్ చేస్తున్నామో అది డౌన్ ఉన్నప్పుడు మరి అది రీట్రై చేయాలి కదా, ఒక్కసారి ట్రై చేసి వదిలేయకూడదు. ఆ రీట్రై అనేది మనకి లిజనర్ లోనే ఉంది. ఇదిగో నా సిస్టమ్ ఎప్పుడన్నా డౌన్ ఉంటే, నా ప్రాసెస్ లో ఎప్పుడైనా ఏదైనా మిస్టేక్ ఉంటే ఒకసారి 5 సార్లు రీట్రై చేసి ఆ ఎక్సెప్షన్ 5 సార్లకి కూడా అవ్వకపోతే ఆ ఎర్రర్ మెసేజ్ ని పంపించు. ఆ ఎర్రర్ మెసేజ్ దేని ద్వారా వెళ్తుంది, ఎర్రర్ హ్యాండ్లింగ్ ద్వారా వెళ్ళింది. క్లియరా?
యా మ్యామ్, క్లియర్.
కృష్ణ మీకు క్లియరా? నవ్య మీకు క్లియరా? అర్థమైందా?
మేడం మీరు ఇక్కడ సెట్ పేలోడ్ చేస్తున్నారు కదా,
అవును.
ఇక్కడ చేసేటప్పుడు మీరు కోడ్ రాస్తున్నారు కదా జేసన్ XML లో,
ఇది మీరు కన్ఫ్యూజ్ అవ్వద్దు. ఇప్పుడు మీరు ఏమి కన్ఫ్యూజ్ అవ్వద్దు, వీటి గురించి అంతా నేను మళ్ళీ ఒక్కొక్కటి స్టెప్ బై స్టెప్ చెప్తాను. ఫస్ట్ మన దాంట్లో హలో వరల్డ్ అన్నా కానీ ఒక వస్తే స్టాటిక్ వాల్యూ పెట్టాలి అంటే మ్యూల్లో ఇలా పెడతాము, సెట్ పేలోడ్ ద్వారా పెడతాము. ఓకే, ఈ లాంగ్వేజ్ ని డేటా వ్యూ లాంగ్వేజ్, వాట్ ఎవర్ ద లాంగ్వేజ్ హియర్ వీఆర్ సీయింగ్, దిస్ ఎఫెక్ట్స్ ఇండికేట్స్ డేటా వ్యూ లాంగ్వేజ్, దిస్ లాంగ్వేజ్ ఇండికేట్స్ డేటా వ్యూ, ఎఫెక్ట్స్ ఇండికేట్స్ డేటా వ్యూ. ఓకే, మ్యూల్లో data view language ద్వారా we will be implementing the logic. So in mule through data view we will be implementing the logic. So what this effects indicates that it is data view expressions we are writing. Okay, don't confuse, as of now we have much to learn. Okay, till here are you guys are clear? Okay, first what you guys can do is try to start doing one API. Okay, API start doing it. implement the same, try to do it, try to observe these tabs. Metadata means notes, means help, means try to observe this. Okay. So help is nothing but it is mule documentation. It goes to mule documentation. See, set payload. If I click on this, it will go to mule documentation. That's all. This is mule documentation. Okay. ఇది మొత్తం mule documentation. It gives the enough information on set payload. That is documentation related stuff. Okay. So I don't want to confuse much. Okay. Try to do the same thing, and tomorrow we will enhance it. We will move forward. We will try to get some. We will do database. We'll try to connect it to database. We will do some operations. We will do some logic in the API. Okay. Everybody will be having one question. Will one project will have multiple flows? The answer is yes. See, this flow I have separated with hello. I can have another flow as well. ఇంకొక flow కూడా నాకు మీల్ ప్రాజెక్ట్ లో ఉండొచ్చు. I can have another flow. I can give another name. Del flow, something I can give. And here I can keep one more listener. I can keep one more separator. ఈ hello కి బదులు another separator I can keep and I can use it. So one mule project can contain n number of flows. Okay. So that I will discuss in depth. Okay. First try to do it.
Madam, how to call the postman this address?
Here is the where na http localhost 8081. Already మనం అట్లానే కదా పిలిచింది. So what is your doubt? Okay. So that is the reason I'm trying to say, as it is first application, try to implement in your own systems. If you're facing any issue tomorrow, I'll just in screen share, we will see it. Okay. Is that fine, Gopi?
Yeah, fine. Because after doing this only we know the problems, right?
Exactly. Problems. చాలా వస్తాయి. So many will come. Wait. Okay. Debugs we have to do. Okay. Try to do this. Tomorrow we'll continue. Okay. Chalo yaar. Chalo. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Happy Independence Day. Everybody is Indian here, so I'm once again saying Happy Independence Day. Okay. Thank you.
ma'am. Happy Independence Day. Thank you.
Thank you. Wish you the same. Yeah. Thank you. Bye.